Welcome to today's video, the science of motivation. If I delivered the video like that, you wouldn't stay long, would you? Okay, so today we're going through the science of motivation. Today I'm going to be taking you through what happens in your brain when there isn't motivation versus when there is motivation, so that you get a better idea of how to become motivated, especially when you're not, how to sustain motivation, and then what becomes possible with a lifestyle based on motivation. Should we go for it? Yes, let's do it. I am Dan Warburton, a transformational coach who's known for having enabled thousands of entrepreneurs and business owners to succeed in extraordinary ways. I've also got web spaces full of testimonials backing this up, and I'm often invited to speak to audiences of thousands around the world about what transformation makes possible. I now get to live an extraordinary lifestyle, and I want you to be able to experience the same. And we go. Am I level? Am I level? Do I look level? Yeah, superb. So today, the science of motivation. So let's go for this. This was yesterday's video. If you've not checked it out, do check it out. That's the 5 secrets of motivation I covered yesterday. Okay, so today we've got here, let me get a new pen here. Let's get into it. The science of motivation. So, what goes on in the brain when you're not motivated versus when you are motivated? I think that'd be a great place to start. So, here we have something like that. Yeah? So, what is that? No, that's not a bad picture of Africa. That's actually your brain. So, this symbolizes your brain. And there's 2 main parts here that I want to speak about. So we have this part here. It's around about here. This is the okay. What does that say? Reptilian brain. Now, why is it called the reptilian brain? Because this part of our brain is the least evolved. This is the part of our brain that since the beginning of mankind, as far as biological scientists can tell, is the part of our brain that's evolved the least. And this deals with things like sex and survival, basically. Everything to do with keeping us alive. Now, when we're not motivated, this part is in overdrive, okay? So many people, they have a problem of not knowing what they want. You know, maybe you've had this. Oh, I don't know what I want. I don't know what to do with my life. Or maybe you're thinking, oh, I can't do that. It won't happen. Well, actually, they're the whispers that are going on in your mind in a subconscious level underneath your experience of a lack of motivation. What's actually going on is that your reptilian brain is in overdrive trying to protect you to ensure that you don't ever experience those feelings and those sensations again that you've experienced in the past. Have you ever been bullied at school? Have you ever been laughed at? Have you ever had your parents shout at you? Maybe a boss has got angry with you, or somebody leaves you, relationship breakup, all these things that just naturally happen to us through being human and living a human existence that cause us, especially when we're younger, to be challenged, to feel depressed, embarrassed. But what happens is during those moments, we go and interpret what happens as, I'm not good enough, I don't fit in, I'm not wanted, I'm not loved, or any kind of thing like that. And then this part of our brain, the reptilian part of our brain, says, don't worry, I'll take care of you, I'll make sure that you never ever experience any of those things again. And so what it does is it just puts the brakes on us physically. You can't get up out of bed in the morning. You think, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing this. But somehow you don't feel like doing it. Or you know what it's like when you have a great idea, you're down the pub, maybe you enjoy a few drinks, and there you are, having a few drinks, and you come up with a great idea, you go to bed, you wake up in the morning, obviously quite often not feeling so good,
and then you remember that idea you had, and then you think about it, and then it's maybe not such a good idea, and then nothing really happens, and then you just go back to your life as you know it. Many people experience that again and again and again. I say one idea is to a penny. They're cheap ideas, you know? And this is what's happening. The reptilian brain is literally having an experience of facing something it doesn't want, because that's what's happened to it again. So your reptilian brain takes care of you, but goes completely over the top and just shuts down your inspiration and shuts down your motivation. Do you understand? Can you see this? So that's what happens when you're not motivated. Now, there's another part of the brain which is the most important in this, and it's this here. It's the outside area here. This is the most evolved. So it's this area in here. Now, this is called the Neocortex. There we are. It's that bit there. Neocortex versus the other part of our brain, which is this one here. The reptilian part brain. So, the neocortex is the most evolved part of our brain. This part of our brain deals with creativity, thinking, ideas, and, did you guess it? Yes, motivation. Because motivation comes from a deep calling of wanting to create. It comes from a deep calling within us of wanting better, of growth and growing. And so this part of our brain also deals with the aspect of motivation. So in people that are motivated, what they're able to do is they're able to see the reptilian part of their brain. They're able to feel the fear. Like for instance, for me, before I get on stage, quite often, especially when I'm talking to a big crowd or about a new topic that I've been studying, and I'm nervous about how I'm going to be able to articulate it or whether people are going to be able to understand me or not, my palms start to sweat. And as I get on stage, or should I say before I get on stage, even though my palms are sweating, I don't think, oh, I won't get on stage, I'll just disappear, and allow the reptilian part of my brain, the survival part of my brain that's sending messages to my body to make my palms sweat, to make me cool down because of the fear that I'm feeling, because of all the worries of what I might experience. I allow that mechanism to take place anyway. Okay, I get it. I can feel my palms are sweating. But then what I do is I take a breath, call out my name, that's it. And then I get usually bouncers, whatever, they guide me through, and then I get up on stage, bang, there's the crowd, and I just breathe, and then that fades away. Then I'm faced with the crowd, and then I just go into it. And then I've basically managed to get past the point of survival, and then the creative mind then kicks in. And once the creative mind kicks in, that's when you have these great ideas, and that is where motivation comes from. Now, here's the secret. Did you see something that was back to front in what I said there? Because you were probably thinking, well, yeah, but Dan, when I'm not feeling motivated, and let's say my reptilian brain is kicking in, how am I going to get in action? How am I going to get out of bed? Well, what you need to do is you need to start practicing using your reptilian brain, and you need to start giving your reptilian brain some of its own medicine. You need to start frightening your reptilian brain with the kind of future that you're headed for. Ask yourself, what will my life look like in 10 years if I don't take action about this? What will my life look like in just 5 years if I don't do anything about this area of my life? If the relationship I'm in that dissatisfies me was to continue and continue and continue, what would my life look like? What would my life look like in 5 years if I stayed in the current dissatisfying job that I'm in? Can you see this? As you allow yourself to get to answer those questions, imagine another 5 years, 10 years of all this that you don't enjoy, that you dislike. If you do that effectively, if you really need to, even visualize your funeral. Visualize what your family are going to say about you at your funeral if you don't succeed in this, if you don't at least get up and give it your best. Because in doing that, you're going to shock your reptilian brain into that future. into realizing that's a future you're headed for. And then once you get to that, you can then ask, okay, so what do I need to do? What is the one very most effective action I need to take? Doing that, now you're beginning to use your neocortex, yeah? You see how you've got full control over which part of your brain you use as and when. This all takes training and discipline. Day in, day out, tiny little incremental steps and practice. That's how you're gonna master this. Then, using that part of your brain, you can ask, what's the very most important and effective action for me to take? And then you can say, right, well, is this going to happen unless I take that action? No. How is my life going to be if I don't take that action? Well, it's just not going to be fulfilling. Start giving your reptilian brain some of that medicine. And then, if you get this right at some point, you should be able to access a little bit of anger. Use that anger, get yourself up, get in action, bang, and you're off. And this is the science of motivation. You only need to do this for windows of opportunity. Now, a window of opportunity within the universe, they're presenting themselves to us all the time, but especially in 3-second long intervals. So, let me get this down. So we've got here 3 seconds. And in those 3 seconds, you're either going to go down or you're going to go up. So, let me explain this. You get given an opportunity. Somebody says, how would you like to do this? And in that moment, time passes by. 1, 2, 3 seconds. If you haven't taken action by then what happens is you go back to habitual patterns, which are in the reptilian brain. And you've gone back to surviving, back to playing safe, playing small. However, if in those first 3 seconds somebody says, how would you like to take this opportunity? You go, 1, 2, yeah, let me look at it. Send me some information and I'll see how I can act upon this or how I can best work on this for you and with you. In that moment, you haven't gone to a usual pattern, you've gone to a creative pattern from your neocortex. Do this day in, day out. Do this for the first 3 seconds when your alarm clock goes off. Do this for the first 3 seconds when you see somebody that you like. If you see somebody that you like, just move, go towards them, ask them out on a date, or say, hi, just thought I'd introduce myself. If you walk in to a networking event, walk in, take your jacket off, you don't know anyone, you're there on your own. If in those first 3 seconds you think, oh no, this isn't for me, I'll just get my jacket and go home, that's it, you've lost it. But no, if in those first 3 seconds you say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and you get up and you take action, then you've done it. You're then exercising your neocortex. This is where power comes from, and number 1, this is where motivation comes from. That is the science of motivation. Well done for checking out this video. And remember that if you're not getting this and you're not understanding it, then you've got to go back to transformation. You've got to transform the things that are causing you to stay in your reptilian brain so you can free yourself of them and then start taking effective action. Because only effective action is going to enable you to be able to access and create that truly inspirational lifestyle and live the dream. Well done, and I'll see you in one of my future videos. If you've got an entrepreneurial friend, then make them feel special by sharing this video with them. Also, feel free to contact me about anything. And don't forget, if you're truly committed to succeed, then hit that subscribe button.